Actions speak louder than words. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, there's been a recent turn of events in my life, at work, at home, anywhere. And in my life experience, I've heard of this mantra. I'm sure you have too. Is actions speak louder than words. We're going to dive into that today and really discuss why that is so important. And you probably already know. But let's ask ourselves a few questions so maybe you can consciously use it more. A lot of philosophy isn't that hard to find. You've probably been told this since you were little, but did you listen to it? Did you really think about it? Do you really practice what you preach? Or, that's another mantra, do you practice what you've heard? Do you practice what's been instilled into your brain since birth? You know, the whole treat others how you want to be treated. That might be another topic down the road. Honestly, I actually kind of like these mantras because, you know, these are great video ideas, and also I genuinely have been thinking about this throughout the day. I like to think about one topic, one video topic, for the entire day, so I have 20 minutes of something to say when I get to you. With that being said, let's start for today. Now, what actions do I speak of? Well, see, a lot of times you can say things, and with good communication you can say quite a bit. However, communication and body language can only get you so far. These are words, and even your body language is a word. It's really, well, maybe it's more of an action. We can argue the semantics on that one, but the reality is that people differ their actions from their words. They say one thing, but they mean another. So how do we combat this? Well, I want you to be perspicacious. I want you to see past that. Well, how do you do that? Well, you start learning about manipulation, philosophy, psychology, and watching 1,000 Psych2Go videos, because they deal with everything mental health. You need to become basically a therapist. See through people. See through to their soul. And once you're able to read people, and not in like a psychopathic, weird, convoluted, manipulative, malicious way, genuinely just being a better conversationalist is being able to see yourself in other people's shoes. Having empathy. That's what empathy is just seeing yourself in someone else's shoes. And usually when you do that, you're not being malicious. And if you actually see yourself in someone else, you're not going to hate them, because I hope you don't hate yourself. So you see the dilemma there is the paradox there, where as long as you love yourself, if you put people in your shoes, or put yourself in other people's shoes, you're going to have empathy towards them, because I hope you have empathy for yourself. So you see that how that works. Now, on top of that, you have people that have different types of actions and different types of words. So, over here, they're very nice 30% of the time, but then the other 70%, they're not, and vice versa. You have someone that is nice 90% of the time, but then they are mean maybe 10% of the time, and maybe it's justified at that point. So, what's important to realize is that people have different types of ways of approaching things, and there's nothing wrong with anything. And quite honestly, your choice of words in career can be very valuable or detrimental. Actually, your actions in conjunction with your words, they formulate your idea, your personality, your entire being, your reputation. You speak, or you conversate, you communicate, and then your actions, what you do, what are your actions? And technically, speaking is an action, but, I think they can be separated. However, we are diving into this yesterday, and I'm trying to find words for this, so let me rant. Let me cook. Making sure that you understand, you need to be self-aware. So when you're self-aware, you're going to be able to understand, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this. I didn't do this right. Well, hang on, let's get into specifics. You don't care about generalizations. You want a specific story. So how about this? In my career, I'm a registration. I check people in for surgeries. And I check in people for lab visits and things like that. Right now, I am a problem solver. I identify as a problem solver, which means that in a corporate world, I am very valuable. However, I need to keep myself in check. Thank you for figuring this out. I need to keep myself in check, because if I push too far, if I herd the sheep too much, they start to push back. So when I push back against people and I tell them, hey, what if we do this, or we do this, or how about we do this? If I push too far on the envelope, I guess you could say, if I push the cat out of the bag too far, people start to despise that. If I change things to my own accord, people don't like that. At the same time, you can do that with conversation too. If you're really nice to people, you're going to get pushed around. People are going to beat you up verbally. They are going to disrespect you, or they're going to be fake towards you back. Being nice 100% of the time to people is fake. I know people like that. I know people that 95% of the time, their entire identity is being nice. Oh, how can I help you today? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, how was your weekend? So, doing those things freak people out. I mean, you saw that smile was creepy. But it's really just their entire mantra. They're very superficial. It's surface level stuff where I can't really get to know you because you're so positive. You're so like here. And it's not that you're positive, it's really just that you're smiley. You don't drop the act. I don't trust you. I don't trust that you're anything. I don't trust that you genuinely feel that way. So being able to be a little assertive, a little egotistical, a little narcissistic, maybe you make a joke that's a little bit too risque, or maybe you just throw a jab at someone. You throw a little roast at them. You throw a little spice on the mix. So doing those things in moderation allows you to have an identity. And as long as you're able to do that in moderation, and let me preface that, moderation, you're going to have a social identity with people. And for the most part, 95% of the time, first of all, people are going to understand you more. Be honest with people. Don't lie to them and go, yeah, oh, how was your breakfast? Oh, wow, that's great. Wow. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. That's weird, okay? So let's not do that. So how do we change that? How do we not do that? Well, first of all, don't go up here. Never be up here like that. That's weird. You need to be here. You need to be nice and kind to everyone, base level. But on top of that, you actually need to be genuine with them, take a little bit of risk, and maybe say something that's a little risque, but in moderation and with a good heart, with good intentions. With no malintent whatsoever, you should be, you should make a joke, a jab, and with good heart, follow it up with something nice. So they understand that you have no ill intention. Bad intentions with people on top of making those little jabs and then proceed to be nice with other people, that is a bad combination. That adds up. That is not right for people, and you shouldn't do that. So when you have a good heart, no matter what you say, usually you're gonna do better. So how do we do that? Well, your actions and your words, yes. But there's a third thing I would say, and that is your heart. If you have a good heart, people are going to, they're gonna hear a joke from you. You're gonna be like, oh, you need a breath mint, buddy. If you say that to somebody that you don't know, as in you're nice to 100% of the time, and then, occasionally you'll just throw in like a little jab saying, hey, you want some gum because your breath stinks. What? What'd you just say? Like, I don't know you. That was disrespectful. I don't like that. That was really rude. But if you say it to your closest friend, or maybe somebody you talk to every day and you make jokes with every day, and you throw a little joke here, you say, oh, you're short. Man, you look kind of small, bro. Maybe you should get a protein shake. Here you go, buddy. So you're buying food for them, but at the same time, you're calling them skinny, which can be a compliment to some people. But it's like, hey, bro, you're kind of skinny. Here's some protein. So you're like being nice and mean at the same time, but it's from a good heart. And maybe that's honest. Maybe they are skinny. So you're roasting them for something that's true. But if you do that from a negative viewpoint, if you say, you say stuff all the time about them, and you haven't really built rapport with them, and you really just don't talk to them, and you're always negative towards them, and you've yelled at them a few times, and you've never really said sorry for those things that you've said, and then on top of that, you throw in a jab like that, it's not right. Because no one believes that you're doing that with good intentions. No one believes that you're saying that with a good heart. No one believes that's a joke. We don't know how to take that. And uncertainty is not good, because people will create things in their own mind. And like I was saying yesterday for my other video, is that everyone has a ledger. Your list of actions and your list of things that you've said. All of these things culminate to your perception, to your identity of others and in yourself. If you don't learn how to manage that, if you don't learn how to fix that and correct that, you're going to suffer. You're going to make others suffer around you. And quite honestly, you need to be self-aware, like I was saying. If you understand that you may need to reconsider your options, your actions, and you need to rethink something and say, what I said 3 years ago to that person, I'm still thinking about that. And I'm thinking that maybe I shouldn't have said that. So that's something that you should consider. I think you should relook over your actions. I think you should overthink a little bit and go, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. And I want you to go to apologize to that person, or at least make up with them in some way. And what that's going to do is, first of all, clear your ledger in your own mind. You're not going to hate yourself anymore for doing that. So that's one good thing. The second thing is that you're going to be able to find peace with that person. So whatever hate they had towards you, first of all, it's probably subsided. They've probably thought it over too. And maybe they said some things wrong too. So now you've had mutual time to think about your actions. And I would probably say at this point, neither of you are angry at each other. So now you've had a lot of time to think this over. And now it's time to get you guys together again. It's time for you to bring the peace back and to say, I'm sorry for my past actions. I want to communicate with you that I don't mean them. I didn't mean them at the time. And quite frankly, I'm still worried about how that made you feel at the time. And hopefully me thinking about this and me coming forward to you now and saying sorry will rectify the situation between us and hopefully, get to the bottom of this. And hopefully maybe we can, we can solve this problem between us. And hopefully we can become better friends. Now, if you both choose to do that of your own accord, that is how situations get resolved. That's conflict resolution. However, if your manager has to stick both of you together and staple you together, one of two things is going to happen. You two are never going to talk again, But you're not going to be mean towards each other again. Maybe you will kind of be coworkers, but now that you have both been brought into the office, you will just completely avoid each other. Not out of anger, but out of fear. Not out of, oh, I don't like that person. Just straight up, I like my job, I don't want to get fired. I will keep my mouth shut, yes ma'am, or yes sir. The other option is one of you gets fired, or both of you. The third option is choosing to go to that person before your manager pulls you together. You need to do that. So now that you've seen this video, and maybe you can understand this, you see how the 2 steps ahead video that I was talking about before is so valuable. You need to self-reflect, because these things do add up. Your little actions and your little words, if you're not overthinking them, you should. Because your actions and what you say do add up. Your reputation is getting drawn out. And that's from every person's head. They have a ledger of words that you've said and actions that you've done to them, good and bad. And their perception of you is based on that. And if you don't improve that before we hit a threshold, they're going to unload that and whole ledger onto the manager, or onto your boss, or onto your authority in your life, or maybe it's your big brother or little sister, or whatever authority in life. Karma comes back to you. These things add up. Or maybe that person will take judgment into their own hands, and then you have a real problem. So understanding that you need to clear the air and communicate with this person is vital. You may not even have done anything wrong, but you need to make it very clear that you have the best intentions and you mean no harm. People that are in fear, people that are uncertain, will do abysmal, detrimental, and despicable things. People that don't understand others, don't see themselves in your shoes, will do unspeakable things to you. People that hate you will justify the most awful actions. And it's because that you are so awful and so evil in their mind that they can justify just about anything that they do to you. And if they do anything to you and they justify that in your head, you won't see it coming until boom, you are hit and blindsided. That can be a career sabotage. That can be, just physically or emotionally hurting you in relationships, or maybe like just mentally just tormenting you. Maybe there's bullying going on too. It's like psychological torture, emotional torture. Like, these things can happen to you. You can be manipulated. So understanding that you need to look at yourself and others, but you need to see people for who they are, the good and the bad, and also understand your own personal bias and be self-aware of that, and also understand that maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'm overthinking it, or maybe I'm not thinking it enough. And that's the paradox of life. But at least you're thinking. And you're thinking, well, why do I need to think all this stuff? I'm going to get stressed out. No. First of all, you have 100 hours in the week that you are awake. The other, 8 times 7, 56 hours a week that you're sleeping, you're just sleeping. You have 100 hours in a week. By the way, you can think at all times, right? You can be doing your work and thinking at the same time. It's crazy. It's called multitasking. Maybe not scrolling your phone for a little bit. So either consume conscious media that is going to help you have a better mindset, obtain information, or think on your own and obtain information on yourself. Self-actualization is very important. It's very real. If you've ever watched that TV show Lucifer, the entire plot is self-actualization of Lucifer. He goes around, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm falling for this detective. I'm becoming mortal. Then he starts cheating on her, not really hanging out with her as much, and then all of a sudden he gets more immortal again. And he goes through a process of choosing her over immortality. And you can love or hate God or whatever, however that rendition is. And yeah, it's a kind of buddy cop, goofy drama show, but it is a pretty valuable lesson that I think you should really consider looking into. Sorry about the lighting. That being said, well, what can we do in our lives that can further influence ourselves in a better way? Well, think more positively. I know that sounds stupid, but realistically, think a little bit more positively. And what that's going to do is, first of all, you're going to have a better day. Second of all, you're going to make other people's day around you, which is pretty important. Reputation, very important. But also, that is an action, I would say. So it's not just fluff. It's not just communication, your body language, you smile, hi! No, you're actually communicating with someone. Maybe you make a joke that lands. And I think that making jokes and humor is pretty important. And I'm sorry if maybe I don't put enough humor into these videos, but I genuinely want to be serious with you. I think in the future, as I get more confident making these videos, I think I'll interject with more humor. So I'm sorry that I may not be the most extravagant, humorous guy yet, but don't worry, I'll get there. But anyways, what I mean is, just think before you speak. Your actions are so much more powerful than your words. If you do things with a silence, first of all, your body language is so powerful that 80% of communication is body language. And then, a person's perception, I really don't care what you say to me. I don't care how you say something to me or how emotional your words are. I want to see what can you provide to me that is of value. And what can I provide to you that is of value that isn't detrimental to me? Because I like providing value to people. I like serving others. So I'd hope that you like serving me. And I hope that you like helping me as much as I like to help you. And a mutual relationship like that is called a friendship. It's called coworkers that communicate well. It's called genuinely decent acquaintances, customers and customer service representatives, is being able to communicate with somebody with the best intentions. So, how do you do that? Well, first of all, you need to have good communication and convey that you mean the best for them. Then second of all, you need to make a few jokes. Make them feel better about themselves. That right there is an action. If you can make someone laugh, that is an action that you have done. If you can give someone some food in any shape or form, whether it's an iced coffee or a donut or whatever, that is an action that made that person's day, or at least their hour or something. Helping someone with a task at work is something that you can do that is a nice action. Helping someone talk through a relationship is an action. Helping someone talk through a breakup is an action. Going out with someone, experiencing a restaurant together, talking with them, and going and experiencing life-changing events together is an action. Going out and going mountain climbing or hiking or something, or doing a crazy gym session, those are things that you do that are physical or are actions, and you do it with someone else and you build rapport with them because there's communication with them, but you're also going through hardships with them. You're seeing how they respond to others and how you respond to others as well. That's why dates are so great. You don't just hang out at somebody's house or something. First of all, red flag. If you are going to someone's house at the first date, either they are really pure or really dirty. But either way, don't trust that at all. Okay? Someone who's really pure like that, you ain't good enough for them, or they ain't good enough for you. Or you're good enough for them or you're not good enough for them. However that works out. You see what I mean? So don't go to somebody's house on the first date. You need to go out on the first date. You need to see how they talk to others. You also need to see, do they open the door for you? Do they offer to pay? Do they, do they hold themselves to a good standard? Do they hold good eye contact with people and yourself? Do they dress well? Do they have fun? Are they fun to hang around? Are they confident in themselves? Are they physically attractive or maybe not? Just genuine good things. So, seeing people's actions can give you better insight about them because, quite honestly, you can supervise somebody, you can watch somebody and figure out what kind of person they are. You don't need to talk to them. Talking to them gives a better insight on how their actions relate to who they are. But in reality, if you only listen to someone and never see them do anything, they are a person of inaction, and that is despicable. A person that all they do is talk, all bark, no bite. They have no bones. They're spineless. So all they do is they say nice things, but they do awful things. So it's a paradox of themselves. And you really can't trust people like that. You really can't. So I would suggest looking at someone's actions first, before listening to them. That's why body language, again, is so important. And I think that if you apply this to your daily routine, your habits, if you apply it to your soul, that you will think about your actions and you think about your words more before you do them. If you think before you do something, if you think before you speak something to someone, I think you're going to have a better time. And you're going to be able to talk to people better, and you're going to be able to communicate with your peers better, and you're going to do better in life. Because these things do compound over time. It's compound interest, baby. And reputation is the currency. I know this is kind of a continuation of last video, but please leave a comment down below if you've lasted this long. Pause. And I hope you have a good one. Anyways, please leave a comment. I would love to see what you want me to talk about next. Anyways, have a good night. I'll see ya.